Hey guys, it's New Grimlock here today, and yeah, we've got Braniac versus Shockwave. Thank you, Danny Boy, for this amazing thumbnail. And let's begin. Honestly, when I first thought about this matchup, I was just like, you know what? I think this will probably a decent long video. But in all honesty, it's not, and you're actually gonna see why. So let's begin here with Braniac. He's I have to say one of Superman's second or maybe first intellectual opponent, depending on how you see him, if he's smarter than Lex or not. But Brainiac actually understands the complex foundation of the DC multiverse and its finite universes. Brainiac is also incredibly strong, actually able to overpower the likes of General Zod and Superboy on multiple occasions. This dude has even manhandled Superman a couple good times. So yeah, Braniac's knows to slouch when it comes to the physical strength department. He's also incredibly durable, taking attacks from Superman, Supergirl, Superboy, the entire Justice League. I mean, the dude is ridiculously tough and durable, taking attacks from characters that could literally one tap, characters like Wonder Woman and manhandle the likes of Martian Manhunter. That's how powerful he is. In terms of speed, well, it's very simple. He scales to Superman. He's been able to react to him on multiple occasions and has actually been able to catch him off guard a couple times as well. He's actually incredibly equipped. He has these tendrils that can shoot both in and out of his body, which can pretty much restrain Justice Leaguers. He's been able to one-shot Justice Leaguers with energy blasts. He has these drones and probes, right, that have been able to fight against the Justice League and the Red Lantern Corps. So Brainiac across the board is just ridiculously overpowered and equipped, honestly. So it makes you actually wonder how powerful he is. How these guys even beat him, honestly. I would also be using Braniac on 1 million, who's actually been able to control entire universes before, even being able to navigate through the entire DC multiverse, serving as Apex Lex Luthor's kind of guide to the multiverse. And at the end, he was made into Perpetua's chair, which, in all honesty, is not a little showing at all. It shows how powerful Perpetua is. But still, he was able to restrain the other members of the Legion of Doom, who were basically amped with things like Gorilla Grodd amped with the Still Force, Cheetah was amped with the Dead God's Graveyard, and Sinestro was pretty much amped by the Ultraviolet Spectrum, which was able to dismantle, and it needed a White Lantern Earth to combat. But meanwhile, you have Shockwave, right? Shockwave is incredibly powerful. Like, this dude is ridiculously powerful. Even at his base state, he's been able to take blows from a pre-Dinobot Grimlock. As a matter of fact, in some occasions and in some incarnations, he's been able to manhandle and fight off the Dinobots when they had organic forms. Now, the organic forms do somewhat limit the Dinobots' thinking capability, but once they were gone, yeah, it was a whole different ball game, and Shockwave never handled these guys again. He's been able to take attacks from Grimlock, being able to take attacks from Optimus Prime, Megatron, Ultra Magnus, and has been able to kill Onyx Prime, who is a multiversal singularity. So you have that. Shockwave's strongest form, like I'm using with Braniac 1 million, is Shockwave Regenesis. During this time, Shockwave had gained control of the dead universe. Now, you might say, oh, everyone gains control of that. What makes it so important? Here's the thing, right? The dead universe is a focal point for all reality. It's like a piece of paper, right? You put your pencil on it and you start creating your whole story, right? Say if you want to create a whole story and you start drawing it out. That's what the dead universe is for Primus. It's a focal point to all realities, all universes. It's infinite in size. So people who take this power are able to connect themselves and get this power are connected to, get this, the entirety of the Transformers multiverse. So no ifs, and or buts about it, Shockwave was connected to the entire Transformers multiverse, which is infinite in size and confirmed to be a 71 to 21 dimensional plane. Yeah, so you know how you have like 4th dimensional planes, 6th dimensional planes? Yeah, Transformers are like a 17th dimensional plane. Yeah, I know that's mind-boggling, isn't it? Because you have something that's just that overpowered in general. It's a verse that's really overpowered. So Shockwave was able to gain control over this universe and was actually going to basically erase the concept of death throughout the Transformers multiverse, and was actually overpowering Optimus Prime and Megatron consistently. Like, this dude was just thrashing him around. He was able to mind control Metroplex and all that good stuff. So let's talk about it. Let's really talk about it here. Who wins at the end of the day here? Now, Braniac in this run was ridiculous. He was very overpowered. He was very, he was at the top. And I have to say, he compares to Apex Lex, probably base and not with all the whatchamacallit added to him. Not with all the what is it? The elements or the forces of the multiverse or whatever. The stuff that was increased by, Braniac giving it to him. I would have to say he's on par with a base Apex Lex, who was able to match against a amped up Superman, a 7 Sun amp Superman. And this guy was able to knock down the World Forger and stop a new multiverse from being made. So, in all honesty, yeah, this is, I have to say how incredible that is. Even then, he's been able to one-shot all forms of the Justice League. Meanwhile, you have Shockwave, who's been able to kill one of the 13 original Primes that actually scared the Fallen. This is the same Fallen that was able to erase all of, existence. And yet, you have characters like Onyx Prime that he's just ridiculously scared of. Which in all honesty, it says a lot because he killed the guy which the Fallen was afraid of. And this is a much younger, and I have to say a much more primed Fallen here. So, in all honesty, and in all retrospect, Shockwave at base is more powerful than Braniac 1 million. Now, stack the Regenesis amp on top of it. The fact that Shockwave was not only was actually going to erase the concept of death, but that fact he was able to scale above multiple primes in that instance, including Optimus Prime himself, who basically deemed he needed the Matrix to beat him. And that's impressive because we very rarely see Optimus Prime having to use the Matrix for such threats like Trypticon. But in this case here, Shockwave literally said, no, that's not going to work here. And the power of the Matrix wasn't even a match for him. The same Matrix that's able to overload and blow up avatars of Unicron on the regular. The same Unicron who's able to fight against the 13 original Primes has been able to take attacks from the true Starsaber, which can not only collapse, but destroy the Transformers multiverse in a single slash if it wanted to. So, by this account, by going off their base states, Shockwave is the more powerful one out of the two. Going by their full powered, or pretty much their strongest states out there, Shockwave again cements himself on top. And in all honesty, this is probably not a good matchup at all. Because by the feats and by the scaling and by both both franchises or both multiverses, omniverses operate, right? Shockwave is significantly above Braniac, and not only in terms of their base states, but in their full powered states. He's above the likes of Galvatron, who's been able to harm Unicron and even tear through time and space. He's above the Fallen, who's been able to pretty much destroy all of existence at one point. He's more powerful than Onyx Prime, who is easily able to scare the Fallen into running across the multiverse. And yet, Shockwave simply said, yeah, I'm just going to surpass all that in a heartbeat. So at the end of the day here, Shockwave wins. Be sure to comment down below, like and subscribe and share with your friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.